we have a private sector. We have a parallel activity to ISRO that is now taking roots. And with time, in fact, the way I look at it is that with time, it's a pressure off of ISRO because ISRO does not have to cater to all day-to-day routine requirements of the space sector in India. While ISRO can focus on the more complex job of launching scientific missions, orbital missions, R&D kind of things, looking at future technologies for, let's say, returnable launch vehicle, heavier vehicles, and they can leave all this day-to-day routine activity to private sector to conduct. And that confidence will grow, not from one launch, but perhaps 2 or 3 successful launches happening will bring that confidence in.
That's exactly what I was trying to understand. But Dr. Goenka, the government is now talking about a $9 billion domestic space economy, right? With an ambition of $44 billion within a decade's time. Is that number realistic? And what needs to happen for us to get there?
Okay, that number is very aspirational. To go to $44 billion from $8-9 billion in a 8-9 year time frame is a very aggressive target. It's a target that has been defined actually by InSpace, which has been accepted now by all parts of the government, and that's what we are working towards. And so it's not a number pulled out of thin air. It's something that is based on what we think can happen in various parts of the space sector. If you look at the whole overall space economy, it is about $440 billion right now. That means we are less than 2% of that economy. We have a fairly large domestic demand for space. Various things to do with the space, including what goes into strategic sector, that is the Indian military forces. And we have a potential of doing a lot of things for customers outside India. So the main thing that we have to keep in mind that so far, before space reforms happened, our thrust has been only on the scientific experiments, orbital missions, and meeting the requirements of various government departments within India. That's been the primary focus, right? Now the focus is going on in how do we convert all of that to an economic value. Do all of that, very important, but also create economic value. And I think it can happen.
Dr. Goenka, I mean, Skyroot has become India's first space unicorn, right, earlier this year. Are we going to see more billion-dollar space startups, or is Skyroot for now an outlier?
No, certainly Skyroot is not an outlier. We will see multiple unicorns coming in. In fact, our Honorable Prime Minister on the Space Day last year, in August 23rd, has given us a target to have 5 unicorns by 2030. We have Skyroot that crossed $1 billion even before this launch. Keep in mind that even before this launch, we have, I think right now, 4 companies that their last valuation was between quarter billion to 350,000 million. So they are all right up there. And I've always said that what we need to see are a couple of successes. And once we have a couple of successes, we are going to see a horde of activity happening. Just from Saturday till today, there have been so many calls that we have received from investors, because we keep very close contact with all the investors, on questions about this, about that, about that, about that. Everybody wants to now write a check. That doesn't mean that the check will be written easily. There'll be a lot of questions. But I do believe that we have at least 5 companies that I can think of today that by 2030 for sure, and maybe before then, will become unicorns. If you ask me to name them, I cannot. But there are at least 4 or 5 companies that I have full confidence that will become unicorn.
So tell me, who in the private pipeline is closest to their own orbital milestone? Let me twist that question.
In terms of private companies, the one that is closest is Agnikul in terms of launch vehicle. They had done a suborbital launch about mid-24. They are about 1 year behind Skyroot in terms of timeline. And they are from IIT Madras, set up in the IIT Madras Research Park. And they are bringing out a rocket that would be similar in terms of what it can do, but very different in technology compared to what Skyroot has. In fact, what they are working on is a reusable rocket from the word go, while Skyroot has also talked about the next phase being reusable. Agnikul is working on reusable from the word go. So if they do succeed in reusable rocket, that will be first in India for somebody to do a reusable rocket, and that would create an extra value because the cost of launch becomes much lower. So they are the closest in terms of launch vehicle. Now, there are at least 2 or 3 other companies that are working on launch vehicles, but they are further apart. I cannot talk about a specific timeline by which they'll be ready, but I think Agnikul will definitely be ready about a year from now with their reusable launch vehicle.